All right, I figured I would get this work that I'm doing right here before somebody else does it and says that they came up with it. But anyway, so I have the original steel and bracket right here. What I did is I got a piece of 1/4 inch aluminum, roughly cut out the same shape, except I kept this filled in. The reason I kept it filled in is because, well, this is the front of the bracket, this is the rear. But just to show you, the idler pulley goes right here, and it's been pulling away, causing the belt to shred every time. So because there's only a tiny bit of aluminum right here, it ends up flexing at this point. So I was going to reinforce it here and here, but I thought the simplest way to do this and to give strength to the entire bracket is to put a sheet in front of it. The reason they didn't do it in the first place is because of the timing cover itself. The timing cover kind of bulges out right here. So since the bracket fits on this part of the timing cover, it was impossible to actually have something in front of it, or that whole aluminum block be covering all this. But if we put another sheet in front of it, I mean, it might hit right here and here, but that we can relieve very easily. But now we'll have a lot more strength. You see how it makes kind of a triangle? Well, it's going to have a lot of strength at this bolt, and this bolt right here. The way I'm doing the bolts is I got some drill bits. I have a thread cutter right here. So I'm tapping the threads into this piece of aluminum right here, and then I'm countersinking it so I can put Allens like this one right here. Obviously it's going to go the other way around after I tap it. What that's going to do is it's going to sandwich these two pieces of metal together without having to weld it, because if I weld it, then it's going to introduce a lot of heat and it might warp. So we don't want to do that. We just want to make it mechanically sound. I'm just trying to do everything here at the house, really just experimenting at this point. If you look right here, you can see that the aluminum actually bent down. And that was from the idler. It's a pretty crazy shot right there. That's how much force was on that one bolt on the idler when this thing was at full tilt. It bent the aluminum. That's 1/2 inch aluminum, I think. It's pretty thick. So, trying to reinforce everything, trying to make it stronger, especially the weak points here. I mean, it's a serious point, because the idler, if this bracket bends even just a little bit, just a degree or two, well, the idler moves, and then the belt will follow the idler and it'll shoot off. What I was noticing with my belts is that it was, I don't know if I have one. Yeah, I got this one. So you see how the belt's halfway cut? And then you can see the wear marks right there. You see how it's a lighter color? Okay, every time that I would get into boost and the bracket would flex, the belt would come off the idler just a little bit and then make those light lines. And if it did it enough, it would weaken it and it would snap. And that's how it was breaking belts. I'm trying to work out here quietly, but I got the sandals on so that way I can go inside, take off the sandals, go inside, check on the baby, come back out to the garage, continue to work. Just seeing what I can get done. I also had an idea of getting the idler, the one that was bending outwards. Bending inwards. Getting that with some stainless steel bar and welding it up to that bracket. So where it was on the corner right there, having two pieces of metal, let's see, having two pieces of metal like that, preventing the idler from tilting. And it's still an option. I mean, we could still do that. All I did is I got a lug nut and I hollowed it out. That way the cone right here would rest in right there. That way it kind of centered it up. Anyway, I've been doing a lot of work actually. Just haven't been posting anything. Baby's kept me pretty busy, so let me see. That's about it. Yeah, luckily he's still asleep right now, so that's cool. All right, so I'm gonna get back to work. All right, so I'm gonna Okay, so update. It is now sometime in the evening. This is as far as we got him. We had to cut that part out so the jack shaft could fit through. And then went ahead and drilled out all the holes. The ones that were threaded, we went a little bit bigger. That way we don't have any issues in the future. That's where we're at right now. As you can tell, we've exhausted every possible tool to make this happen without using a CNC or any professionals, because we are not professionals by any means. Sorry. Alright, so this is about as good as it's going to get. This is not bad for a prototype. I went ahead and cleaned up the edge right here to match it all, because I did it with the bandsaw, so it didn't come out that great. But we got it matched up. There's some pry marks right here, some damage. That's why it looks like there's gaps, but there's actually no gap between the aluminum. It is secured by the Allens. And now we're going to actually test fit it here and see what it does. So it's going to be about like that. Okay, we're going to put in a couple of bolts just so we have an idea of where we need to make the cuts. Remember I was saying we need to make some relief cuts for the timing cover? Well, it looks like that's basically the only thing that we need to trim, those two. Make that one a little bit wider. So these are 30 mil bolts right here, and what we got now is going to be 41, 42, 43 millimeters. So we'll do 40 mil bolts on all of them, and then we can finish this up. We'll put all the bolts around the timing cover, we'll bolt the supercharger back up, put our idlers back on. We have a problem. Spacers. These spacers are going to be sticking out too far. So one option we have is to put it back on the first layer where it used to be right here. And then we can just cut a large diameter hole where it was, like that. Or we can have these remachined minus the thickness of this new aluminum here. So 1/4 inch smaller. Either way, we're not going to be able to finish this project until maybe next week. I got to order the bolts, and then I'll figure out if we're going to change these up or if we're just going to drill a large hole. That way this can sit in there. It's not going to be as strong as if we make this shorter. So maybe I'll take these over to the machine shop and I'll just have them take off 1/4 inch on it. I'm going to measure this again 100% just to make sure I know exactly the size, and then we'll get these shortened up a little bit, and I'll get the longer bolts ordered, and then we'll finish this video up. Stay tuned.